Hello, everybody, and welcome to Inclusive Design 24 2019, the pre-conference countdown. My name is Leonie Watson. I'm joined by two of my fellow ID24 team members, Ian Pouncey and Adrian Roselli. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
And Patrick is here as well. Hello.
Oh, Patrick, you're here too. Excellent. Patrick Lauker is here in person. We're also delighted to be joined by Andrew and Sarah, who are both members of Intopia, fantastic accessibility and inclusive design agency based out of Australia, who've been huge champions of inclusive design over the years, and especially of ID24. So hello to both of you.
Hey. Hi all.
So we've got 15 minutes just before we really get underway with the 2019 conference. So much going on over the next 24 hours that I know the team is all really excited about. But before we take a look forward at some of the talks that are coming up, Andrew, Sarah, can you tell us something about why Intopia is part of Inclusive Design 24?
Absolutely. So for us, it's important to support such a unique opportunity for people to hear from people around the world around, what they're doing. As supporters, I think we're not only supporting this as such an important and, dare I say, well-run event. It's always very, very smooth. But also encouraging everyone to learn more about this area. And, just to, there's some amazing topics, particularly on areas I think that we often don't talk about. And so by being able to join this free event and be able to see the recordings later, people get to be able to learn more about what it is to design inclusive products.
Yep, that's absolutely fantastic to hear. And we've said this many times, over the years that you've been involved with ID24, we really couldn't do this without your help. It's a truly community event, and it's amazing especially for those of us, I think, based out of the UK, to know we've got friends in Australia watching our back from the other side of the planet. That's particularly nice to know. Are there any talks that you guys are looking forward to particularly?
I just adding to Sarah's last comment too. I think the other aspect is because we're so far away from the rest of the world, people in Australia don't tend to get the opportunity to hear from many of the leading people or to attend international conferences because of the travel requirements. So having something that's online like this is really a great opportunity for people down here to and plus the fact that it's all recorded and they can watch afterwards, but to see some of the people and hear about some of the topics that they wouldn't normally get to hear about. Another reason for why we're supporting and encouraging everybody locally to watch now or watch later.
And so, what are you particularly interested in, Andrew?
I've got a particular interest in aging. Yes, grey hair. I've been interested in this area since I got started in accessibility. So that I know there's a few talks coming up on that cover off on aging, including Sam Lettuce from Procter & Gamble, who's going to be talking about attracting people who are over 50 to be online. But there's a few talks that are sort of touching on that area, so I'm particularly interested in what those people have to say.
For me, I think it's a range of talks. I'm particularly interested in Sarah Lethwaite's talk on sort of how to teach accessibility. So we know that there's a skill shortage in accessibility, and I think having great sort of research-based methodologies on how we can better teach people about accessibility will be really interesting. Cognitive Differences by Elizabeth Schaefer, often not very well understood or considered in design. So I think that's going to be a really important topic. And lastly, Joe Francetti's imposter syndrome. I talk to a lot of people in the accessibility industry or specialists, and I actually think a lot of people tend to have imposter syndrome, and I think it's an important thing to talk about and learn about.
Yeah, Joe's talk, I must admit, is one of the ones I'm really looking forward to. Another one I've got an eye on is Peter Shinkley's Jailhouse Rock. It's going to be a really amazing talk, I think, because it looks at two completely different aspects of inclusion. He's going to be talking about a project that he's worked on inside a federal prison, where they've been training people who are serving sentences there to work on accessibility projects, do audits and assessments. And I love the idea that people in that position are not only helping other people around the world, you know, be more included in society, but in theory, I'm guessing they're learning skills and other things that will give them an opportunity to be included in society, you know, when they've served their sentences. And that, I think, is a pretty extraordinary way to look at inclusive behavior. So yeah, that one's on my definite watch list. Ian, Pat, Adrian, what about you guys?
So I like that, you know, this is not just it's not an accessibility conference. It really is an inclusive design conference. So, you know, we have talks. We have several talks, in fact, this year about fonts and typography, which is really interesting. And then we have a talk about imposter syndrome and anxiety. So we've got a wide range of things that aren't just to do with the web or to do with accessibility.
For what it's worth, I agree. There's a talk on UX of text and a talk on typesetting, very interested in. I don't want to cut Pat off, but I think we're short on time. And I think that Mike has joined us.
I'm here.
Do I see Mike? Mike
Yeah.
Pusiello?
Yeah. Live from New York.
Hey.
Pusiello in our opening party.
Excellent.
How
Hey
cool is
everyone, good to see you. Good to see you all. Ian, Leonie, Andrew, Adrian. Awesome.
And he remembers my name.
Yeah.
So
That's
for people
because
not
it's on the screen.
Oh,
for
that
people
helps
not familiar with the inclusive design story, the idea had been floating around for a number of years before Mike was the one who said, you know what, we can really make this we can really make this happen, so let's do it. So yeah, Mike is our founding champion of the whole event.
Yeah.
And we also have another of our supporters. We have Paul Smith on the
I think he dropped.
stream.
Yes, I think we might have just lost him, unfortunately.
Literally just. Oh well, never mind.
I will say though that Paul comes in from the Barclays Bank accessibility team, another long-time supporter of Inclusive Design 24. You know, without whose help, we'd really struggle to get the whole thing off the ground. So they're a bank based out of the UK that are really involved in the accessibility community in many different ways, supporting events like this, and also doing some fantastic work around accessibility for their own banking customers and consumers. Pat, what's
Hello.
been good for you? What are you looking forward to?
I shamefully have to admit that for the last few days, I've been so closely involved with all the technical setup and everything else that I've actually lost track of what talks we're having and, you know, who we've tech checked and everything else. So I'm just going to look forward to basically having the day go past me in a big blur, and then probably realizing 26 hours later, it's like, right, it's done now. Now I can relax.
I do realize that I have been late for more or less every meeting I was supposed to attend this week because I've completely stopped being able to tell what time it is now.
Yeah.
So much time zone conversion.
Just in UTC, we just need to just standardize, that's it.
Excellent. So Andrew and Sarah, tell us something about what Intopia is up to at the moment. I know you guys are involved in many different aspects of the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we sort of really partner with organizations as their trusted partner to help them with accessibility. And what I'm actually really excited about is we're seeing more organizations looking at accessibility at a strategic level and trying to look at, you know, how do they make it business as usual? So, from everything from, culture, how do you create a culture that supports, accessibility, inclusion, down to process, and then capability building. And I think that's exciting because it shows where I think accessibility and inclusion is maturing, and that organizations are taking it up to that level, to the sort of executive, suite level, the board level. And I think that could be a game changer, in terms of accessibility becoming just the norm.
In conjunction with that, we're seeing an increasing requirement from, or demand from, many of our clients saying that they want to include people with disability in the usability testing, which is, and right back from the design phase, not just checking after they've got it right, but continually using people with disabilities in design usability, and in just general user research about what people think about their products and their services. Another change we've noticed in the last 18 months, probably, that's started to increase. So that's another very nice change that we've noticed down here in Australia.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic, and I agree. It's a really, really positive change. We just have.
Paul has joined us again. If you did not see,
I did. Thank you. We just have 2 minutes, maybe, but Paul, we did our best to represent you earlier, but since you're here, do you want to say a quick hello? And,
yeah, no worries, and apologies being late. I mean,
No
I've
problem.
been listening in, and great stuff. Really, just echoed what Andrew and Sarah have said. I think for Barclays, it's just really important in terms of democratizing know-how, right? All this accessibility stuff, and I think from whether it's learning about the theory or the practice, the technical or the generalist, it's great that there's such awesome content, from world-renowned people. It's a real blend. And I think when we spend our lives removing barriers that many folks face in using digital stuff, it's really important too, right? That we kind of remove barriers for people to get upskilled and know and, be curious of this topic of accessibility and inclusive design. So really excited to see how the next 24 hours go.
Yep. And on that note, we have to call this one a wrap because our first speaker is lining up to take the stage. And so we should make sure that happens on time. So we will see you all in 2 minutes for the official start of Inclusive Design 2019.
Yay.
Looking forward to it.
Cool. Good luck.
bye, everybody.
Break a leg, everybody.
Don't do that.
Yeah.